Hello, we are a team of students from NITH, and this is our video game idea, Varangian. The game is a 3D, turn-based tactical strategy game, like XCOM Enemy Unknown, where you follow the story of Viking King Harald Hårråde as he seeks glory among the Viking mercenaries of Byzantium. The platform of choice is the iPad, and the engine we will use to develop it is the Unity engine. This will make porting to other platforms a possibility in the future. We hope you enjoy our pitch, and that we'll meet you in the interviews.
The people we want to reach are those who look at the App Store and want something more. Not necessarily a AAA game title, but more than the average mobile/iPad game. So, based on this, we've concluded with two goals. We want to give these players a fun challenge, and we want to make them learn about history as they play through Varangian. These two goals have been at the center of many of the choices we've made. So when you play the game, you're placed inside of a skirmish or a battlefield, depending on the size of confrontation, and instead of controlling 100 or 200 or 800 men, you control about 4 to 6 people. In battle, your men will have different talents based on their weapon of choice, and these talents are based on actual medieval warfare. So for example, a man using an axe will be able to use that to hook the shield of the opponent and leave him vulnerable. Each soldier has 2 action points, which they can use to attack or run, but they can also use these points at the end of their turn reactively. This means that when the enemy tries to attack them, they can use their shield to block, or they can try and attack the enemy before the enemy attacks them. In this sense, the gamer will have to think about when to save his points and how to plan for not only his turn, but for the opponent's turn.
The biggest technical challenge we can foresee is making a good-looking 3D game that runs smoothly on the iPad. Our main concern is the number of polygons visible at the screen at any given time. After doing some research, it seems that the general consensus is that 70,000 polygons per scene is a good baseline. However, because Varangian is a turn-based game, we might be able to push that limit since the amount of moving objects is quite low. AI programming is the special side of the project, as time needed to improve the AI increases exponentially as AI gets more complex. As such, we will create a basic AI with rudimentary functions first. If we are ahead of schedule near the end of the project, we will polish the AI further.
The game's visuals will have a simplified, cartoony look. This is both due to the technical limitations and a hope that a cartoony look will age better than a more realistic style. Since the view of the battlefield is isometric, the loss of detail should not have too big of an impact. Units will have 2D portraits that are more detailed than the 3D models. This will help the player envision the ongoing combat.
Over the last 2 semesters at school, we have gotten familiar with Scrum. We will be utilizing Scrum at DARE. The 9 weeks at DARE split nicely into 9 sprints, and we have set up our development schedule accordingly. Towards the end of each sprint, we will conduct internal and user testing and use the information gathered to inform our future choices. After the 9 weeks are done, we will be left with 3 distinct levels, and as a whole, they constitute our tutorial level. The first 4 weeks of development are dedicated towards creating core gameplay functionality. Likewise, our 3D assets and other art assets and sound are focused towards the same thing. After the first 4 weeks, we will shift our attention towards story. And to facilitate telling a story, we will implement a dialogue system, which will be constituted of a portrait and text. Lastly, we will implement special actions for each weapon. And that about wraps it up. Thank you for your time, and hope to see you soon.